tamanubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamati sarvam Sahanavavatu 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 Sahanavavatu. So we are doing creating the gross elements. So gross body, gross worlds are created. The 14 worlds are created by that, otherwise it's difficult to unravel it. So Agni is the first Bhautika that has a Rupam. Rupam is form. So Akasha, Vayu, Agnihi, Sabda, Sparsa, Rupa. Rupa comes with the Agni. Rupa means form. So anything, so it is symbolic of all forms that are generated from the Agni becomes into all the things that are expressible in terms of the creation itself. Okay, so Agni stands for, therefore, the whole entire creation that I can see in the forms, various forms, or that which I can conceptualize also. That's in the form also. Either it's the mental form or the physical form becomes Agni now. So now what is it? So Aranyoho, the Aranis, two Aranis, that is a duality here. So Nihitaha, that is lodged. Jataveda, that the sacred fire here is being developed slowly. Just as the fire that is started from the Aranis and carefully it is brought it out into a macro scale. And he gives an analogy, Garbha eva subruto garbhini bihi. Just as a pregnant lady takes care of the garbham very carefully by not eating what should not be eaten and only eating those, so that the garbham can grow slowly until it becomes a full-fledged baby. So in the same care, the production of the fire of the sacred fire is also done carefully using the Aranis. So dive idjo jagravad bihi. So day by day that fire has been used into the daily puja Agni, and every day that Agni alone is used for the everyday's the Agnihotra, and for every ritual. Therefore, from the Agnis, we said the whole creation, as we perform using that creation, day by day, we either get into two paths. Either we get lost into the fire and go by one life after life when we turn, or when we turn upwards. That's called Shreyas and Preyas. When we turn upwards to look for the spiritual thing that is being in the fire, where we want to see the higher reality and turn our minds into that, using the same fire, we can think in terms of growing towards the higher and recognizing that. So here, dive idyo jagravad bihi havishmad bihi manushye bihi agnihi. So here, this idyaha, dive, day by day. So this idyaha means worshipful Agni, or the one that is which is adorable. Jagravad bihi, the one who are awakened to that state of understanding, they slowly develop into this in order to recognize that. So the one who are meditative and looking at the nature, using the same physical body, mind and intellect, they use the fire of knowledge, Agni here, the fire of knowledge, to transcend themselves, to recognize what is the nature of the reality. So all that are implied in the symbolic language here. And those who are the Grihasthas, we are talking about two people, those who are contemplative jnanis, jagravad bihi means who are awakened, or who are in the, awakened means awakened by the knowledge. Jagrata, uttishta, jagrata, we heard the sloka before. The one, get up, awake. So the one who awakened by the scriptural teaching and contemplating on that, and dive, daily trying to go into that state of understanding with the clarity, and they reach that state also. Those who are grihasthas, who are ritualistic people, use also this same Agni for development of whatever they want to do. Havish bihi, havishmat bihi. Havish is the offerings. So either in terms of sacrificial fear, manushye bihi, those men, that also is nothing but the same truth. So essentially, same reality expressing in the form of those who are jagravad, who are trying to realize the higher state, and also those who are in the ritualistic, means action, result and action, result and action, who are also in the karma only, karma for their own selfish reason or for the higher reason also. So for the upasana also, it is implied all or nothing but the same Brahman. Same Brahman in variety, having a different shows, both from the point of jnanis and as well as ajnanis also. Etad Advaita, that is that. So he's giving a broad picture of what exactly is Brahman. Now why is all this being done? It's a simple question. Because that's all we can see. He cannot say this is Brahman. Brahman, because he cannot teach any other way other than what we are used to it, and then using what we are seeing, we have to see what is the higher reality that is implied in what we see. And that is where that's why the Viveka is required. Viveka is that the intelligence to discriminate what is real in this and what is unreal in this. What is real? Etad Advaita, that is what is real. What is not real? Other things, superficial things that you are giving more importance right now in terms of names and forms and all that, that's not really real. We think that is real, the other one is not real. The other way around, because what is real is that which is essence is real, and whatever the superficial, he is different, she is different, he is different, and all the activities that are going on are not really real. They are not real, they are unreal also. Unreal cannot be done anything. So it is called mithya. This is one of the difficult slokas here because of the symbolic language. Okay, let's go to the one thing we need to know for our sadhana. See, whenever I want to see Brahman, I cannot see Brahman, I cannot realize Brahman something. I have to see from what I see, I had to recognize the Brahma. So that has to be understood. So I cannot have the Brahman vision anywhere. I am having the Brahman vision, but etad vaitad. I have to see what I am seeing, but I have to recognize the Brahman in whatever I am seeing. Whatever I am transacting, whatever I am performing, it is nothing but Brahman only. That understanding has to come while I am transacting in the world. That's what has to be understood. So this is reinforced in the next sloka, which is essentially a Mahavakya. Mahavakya is that which identifies Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyatvam. That's called Mahavakya. Mahavakya is the great statements that identify Jiva is nothing but different. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. That Brahmaiva Naparaha. So that is the Mahavakyam. Here he is going to equate the two. Yataschodeti suryo astam yatra cha gacchati tam devaha sarve arpitaha tadunacheti kaschana etad vaitad together etaschodeti suryo astam yatra cha gacchati tam devaha sarve arpitaha tadunacheti kaschana etad vaitad. So here we see daily sunrise and sunset. So here we can explain this in several ways, but one simple way is etas yataha cha udeti suryaha. Yata, from where the sun comes, somewhere because of which the sun is arising in the morning. Astam gacchati yatra, and into which he goes back in the night. So is sunrise and sunset. That itself is a wonder. So what makes the sunrise and sunset? And so, this is only Earth is rotating. Okay, what makes the Earth is rotating? I mean, you can pose the same question. So what makes the Earth is rotating? So what is that force? Oh, it is centrifugal. Oh, you can get all sorts of stories. But what is that? Because of which is a capacity to rotate, and that is nothing but a power that is not my creation. It is the creation of the Lord Himself, right? Whether the gravitational force, the centrifugal force, and all those, you can give a physical explanation, but what exactly is the gravitational force? There used to be a big discussion. Is it a gravitational force, is it monopolar or bipolar? I don't know if you know. Because everything in the universe is there is always positive, negative, right? This is a south-north in a magnetic field. You have plus minus and electricity. So there has to be a gravitation also has to be, it's not one side. There has to be two sides, and that's what there was in the University of Maryland. There was a big, when I was doing a postdoc there was a big experiments trying to prove that it is not monopolar. Monopolar means not one type. There has to be two types. So gravitational repulsion has to be there. I don't know, maybe there may be, because the galaxies are going further and further away also, so getting repelled by. So we don't know but what is the source for it? Where is the force come from? And even the Big Bang, there are the banging forces are there, right? Where did it come from? Oh, it came by Big Bang. So how did it bang? So that science cannot answer it. So one can say that because of which the whole thing, etad vaitad, that's it. That is that source for everything. And say, after all, this is carbohydrates, minerals, right? How am I able to fold this? Etad vaitad. Why? Because the life is pulsating. I'm able to do it. I'm able to blink. I'm able to talk. Matter is doing all that. And that itself is the power. And what is the power coming from? Oh, he's alive. That's only statement. What does it mean? That's, you remember I told you, we cannot tell what's sweet also. So every expression of life is a wonder. And there is no time where you cannot stop wondering. Ascharyavat paschati kasyadena, ascharyavat vadai tathaiva chanyeha, ascharyavaschaiva manya srunoti, srutvapyenam. Krishna repeats, so people listening also cannot find out what a wonder. What is a wonder? Swami defines wonder is that which intellect cannot explain. That's why wonder. If intellect can explain, you start rational explanation. Up to gravitational force, intellect can explain. After that, what happens? How that gravitational come arises? And you can give me equation, but how does it arise? So it's a wonder. Right? So that is what it is. Now, this is one aspect of it. That's not what Shankara has defined. Let's go into traditional explanation. So, yataha, from ucha, udeti, suryaha. So, from their point, they look, sun is arising and sun is setting. And he has a seven horses, right? Seven Vibgayar. So, he has 7 horses are there. And the driver, you know who is the driver? Aruna. Aruna is red color. So first thing you see is Aruna coming, because you see the driver first before the passenger or the owner comes in the next. So therefore, because of which the sun arises, astam yachate gacchati, tam devaha sarve arpitaha. We'll come back to that. So therefore, wherever the sun also stands for that because of which the whole life is pulsating. Right? Because the whole life in the whole universe, if there is no sun, there is no life in this world. And we see some pativratas stop the sun and everybody starts crying, we need a life. So, sun is essential for the life principle itself. And that's what is Sandhya Vandanam is really important. But that which supports the life is essentially the sun. Now, if you look at the Vedantic explanation, that because of which the life itself is pulsating from all the way to Brahmaji to all the way to small insect on the ground, every life form is being udeti and astameti. Now you follow? So, that life principle, that is etad vaitad. Follow now? Yamananda Maharaj is taking us to highest heights here. And from the totality and at the same time locality being expressed, there is only one, and that's what essentially the Mahavakyam also. Their identity of Jivatma and Paramatma, there is no difference. It is same Brahman at the total level, same Brahman at the individual level, and making the life pulsating. Himself is not doing, but the life is enlivened. But from his point, there is nothing he is doing. In my presence, the Prakriti is projecting. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyati Sachara. I am only Adhyaksha. Adhyaksha is the president, doesn't do anything. But buck stops there, right? He is responsible, but at the same time, he doesn't do anything. So, yetas chodeti. Yataha uccha udeti astam gacchati yatra, that devaha, tam devaha, those, that gods of all gods. So, tam devaha sarve arpitaha, all gods are surrendered to that life principle itself, because devaha also means all the sense organs and everything are under the control of that life principle, that which pulsates in everywhere from the all the way to Brahmaji and down. And tat na kaschit accheti. That indeed na kaschana accheti. There is nothing beyond that. So atiyeti, that beyond that, there is nothing beyond that. That is it. And that Dharman is everything that is whole. So all life, so where should I see Brahman? You cannot but see Brahman anywhere, that because everywhere it's only him only. But I have to have an understanding and keep that understanding while transacting. That's where the problem is. Why I cannot keep that understanding while I am transacting? Because of ragadveshas, cloud us. So I have to keep this all the time, this knowledge in circulating until it becomes natural. That's called nididhyasana. Even though I understand it, it doesn't come to me until I keep hearing scriptures again and again and again and again. Until what? Until it becomes one with me. Until You realize scripture will help you. After you realize, you help the crystals by propagating the scriptures. So, yes, always study will be going on all the time. There is no alternative. So my wife thinks I am addicted to Advaita because every time I am only studying only this and that and that. Says, what is it? Only snakes and ropes. How long you can study about snakes and ropes? So same thing. But the abiding in the knowledge is only by constant reflecting on the teaching itself. So, and there is nothing other than that. And etad vaitatu, that is in fact is the Tattvamasi statement is being emphasized here. And that comes in the next sloka also. Yade veha tadamutra, yade veha tadamutra, yadamutra tadadviha, yadamutra tadanviha, mrutyo sa mrutyo mapnoti, yahiva naneva pasyati. Together. Yade veha tadamutra, yadamutra tadanviha, mrutyo sva mrutyo mapnoti, yahiva naneva pasyati. So, yat eva, yadeva, iha, yadeva, yadeveha, that means yat iha, iva, yat eva iha, that which indeed is this. Here, iha means here. Here now what you see is indeed tadamutra, is that what is there. It's a statement. What you see here indeed, here right now, is that what is there. What is there what? That Brahman. What you see, everything is nothing but Brahman only. So, what I have to say Brahman, right? What you are seeing here right now, right here, is indeed Brahman. Okay, follow that statement. Yadamutra tadanviha. So, that what is there is here. So, don't look far. I had to sit down. From now on, I understood everything. Now I have to sit and meditate only. What is meditation? If you sit, understand, you can't but be in meditation all the time. Because whatever I do, I am seeing everything only Brahman. I don't have to close my eyes, I don't have to close my ears. Everything, whether it is a terrorist or something, everything is nothing but him only. He's acting like a terrorist because people need to be terrorized. That's what they're looking for. Why? Don't ask me why, because that's a part of the game. And you have to stop them also. That's also part of the game. So what is Brahman? What's meditation? So some people cry, some people make other people cry. It's all part of the drama that goes on. So that's why, when you go, I enjoy sitting there in the airport and see drama goes on. People are running this way, some people are running, some people are complaining, some people make other people to complain. All this goes on and on and on. But the whole thing is moving. Same thing will happen every day, same thing will happen years from now, same thing will happen centuries from now also. If not here, only situation changes. People were complaining also at that time, what is going to do? How am I going to bring my life, my family, my children? How are they going to? All that they were worried about thousands of years ago. And they are worried now. And I'm sure they'll be worried about thousands of years. Same thing, it's drama. But if you look at the total, everything is in order. That's how the etad vaitad, see the beauty of the drama of life itself. Then everything becomes an entertainment only. So these are all against the Dvaitins, actually, Dvaita philosophies, and how they interpret all this. But anyway, another beautiful sloka 11 is Manasai Vedamaptavyam, Se Vedamaptavyam, Nehananasti Kinchana, Nehananasti Kinchana, Mrutyo Samrutyum Gacchati, Mrutyo Samrutyum Gacchati, Yaha Iha Naneva Pasyati, Together, Manasai Vedamaptavyam Nehana Nasti Kinchana Mrutyo Samrutyam Gacchati Ya Iha Naneva Pasyati. It's one of the famous slokas that are quoted again and again and again and again. And the first two lines are very important, and last two really tells about the worries, the Dvaitins much more. Manasa eva idam aptavyam is a famous statement. This can be realized only by the mind. So, say I want to go beyond the mind. Where do you go beyond the mind? You have to realize only with the mind. I cannot realize when the mind is not there, as in the deep sleep state. So there are some theories who say you can realize in the deep, you are in the Brahman. You may be in the Brahman, but you won't know. You are in the Brahman even now also. So you don't have to go to deep sleep state to know that you are in Brahman. You are in the waking state also, you are in Brahman, because there cannot be anything other than Brahman. But to recognize that, to know that I am, this is, everything is Brahman, I need the mind to get educated, because the mind thinks I am not that. Who thinks? Lord doesn't think. The consciousness doesn't have to realize. Mind by itself doesn't realize. I have to use the mind to realize. Follow now? I, the conscious entity who takes the mind as I am the mind, has to use the mind to know that I am not the mind, but I am because of which the mind is functioning. Follow? That has to be understood by the mind, using the mind. All this has to be clear in the. Otherwise, say, mind has to go, mind has to disappear, thoughts have to disappear. These are all wrong notions about what is involved in self-realization. And this is very important here. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayoho bandhaya vishayasaktam muktai nirvashayam sudam. So Amrita Bindu Upanishad says that mind alone is responsible for both the realization as well as bondage also. So here, one of the famous statement, Manasa eva idam aptavyam. Only by the mind alone this can be realized. Another statement, Neha na nasti kinchana. So na iha nana asti kinchana. It's one of the famous quotations also. So this one and okay, when it comes to my mind I will tell. So na iha nana asti kinchana, na asti. Here now, that means in the present tense. Iha means right now. Asti, now there is nothing other than this. Oh, I am seeing varieties. You are seeing it, but reality is nana, where means different things are not really there. So how is this possible? So in the Atmabodha today morning class also talking about this. So looking at the pot, I had to say that there is no pot. What is there is only clay. Because every part of it is nothing but the clay only. While using the pot, I can say there is no pot. Follow? So, while using the world as I am transacting in the world, my bank balance is different from your bank balance, my life looks like different, my house is different, all the transactionally real. I take care of my children, I take care of this one, all those things go on. At the same time, there is nothing other than that. Also has to be understood. So, what is that? Whatever I see is only not there in an absolute sense, really is not there, only there at a transactional level, at the vyavaharika satyam, but not at the absolutely real. So the polarity that I see is there, but there is no reality to the polarity. What is there is only Brahman, varieties of something. Just as what is there is only gold, but there is a ring and a bangle and a necklace and a bracelet, varieties of ornaments are there. Says, nasti kinchana. I'm only a gold guy collecting gold. I say there is nothing other than gold there. Right? So both statements are right depending upon from what reference I am looking at. While transacting, I have to differentiate for transaction. Otherwise, I cannot transact properly. Food is food, garbage is garbage. So I had to differentiate that. At the same time, I should have the knowledge that this is only at the game of life. At the apparent level, the reality is only one. So, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnyam, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva tena gandhavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. The instruments are Brahman, the Havish is Brahman, the one who is Ajna is also Brahman, the one who is doing karma is also Brahman, the karma phala is also Brahman. There is nothing other than Brahman only. That is the teaching essentially here. But if you fail to notice the oneness that pervades everywhere and think that this is different, that is different, this is real, that is real, Jagat Satyam, Jiva Satyam, Jiva Jiva Bhinnatvam, Jagat Jiva Bhinnatyam, Jagat Ishvara Bhinnatyam, all Bhinnatvam, if you see, as the Advaita philosophy says, Mutyuho Samrutyum Gacchati. Yaha, iha, naneva pasyati. So, yaha, here, whoever sees these differences, nana, varieties as the reality, he goes from mutyoho samrutyum gacchati. He goes from death to death. Because he's the Lord of Death is talking. So, from birth to birth, he's saying from death to death he's going. Because he enjoys death part. So, he says, death means he has to be born in order to die again. So, punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. Says that will happen if, provided, you see the plurality as reality. Remember the quote unquote. If you see the polarity as only as the mithya, is only projection at the apparent level, and I am playing the game here, you can play as long as you have desire to play. And once in a way, you come to Kathopanishad as a green room to find out that your true nature, that I am only this. Isha jiva yoho veshadi vida sattva bhavato vastu kevalam. So Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, Ishaha, Jivaha, Vesham is only different, the reality is only, there is no difference at all. Okay, let's see if we can finish this Valli. 12. Angushta matram purushaha, Angushta matraha purushaha, Madhya atmani tishtati, Ishano bhuta bhavyasya, Natato vijugupsati, Etad vaitat. So here again he is going back to at the micro level and the macro level and switching from one to the other. So Angushta matram purusha madhye atmani tishtati. Where is this Atma? If you want to ask, where is my Atma? Says, okay, if you want to know where it is, okay, here it is. So if you put in the heart is supposed to be in this size, right? In the fist size. And if you put a button, your thumb inside, so you have space also there in the, that is where it is. That means inside of the Angushta matram, of the size of your Angushtam is the thumb size, is what the Atma is. In hiding in the lotus of your heart. This is, don't think that Atma is sitting in there, because the Atma is all over. Then he says, why is it? It is as though sitting in the heart of your heart. He says, how much? Where is that? Says, you are asking, this may be picture. But it is only symbolic. But Atma is the very heart, means the very self that I am. That is what? What is that? I am not this, I am not this, we do, right? Say, I am not this body, I am not this, so I am moving one by one. So I am becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. When I eliminate this, I am not this whole world, because not this. Everything is, this is whole world. I am not this body, I am not this mind. Anything objectified is not this. So I am becoming smaller and smaller until I become only that I am only left. And that I am is what is called Tvam Pradartham. What is that I am? Tat Tvamasi. There is two other words also there. And that is second in the second and third. Ishano bhuta bhavyasya nato vijugupsate. He is Ishvara also in all beings too. So bhuta bhavyasa, who is a master of bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu, right? So he is the Lord of the past, present, and of his present and future present is also included when you include past and the future, because in between you have present. So everything is included. The whole time itself is Isha. He is the Lord of the time itself. The space and the time comes from him only. And that's for Kalo Jagat Bhatchaka. Kala is, the time eats away the whole world. So everybody says, oh, I am crying and all that. After some time again you become, slowly, all that sorrows you forget, and then you come again. The time will take care of it, right? That's why column, the generations have come, generations have gone. The childhood all, we are worried about so many things. That is gone, adult age, and then that is gone, and some people are becoming old, and not all people are becoming. And gata suna gata sumcha nanu socha. What is there to cry? One day we also will kick the bucket. So it will go on. So Bhuta Bhaya, who is the Lord of the whole thing itself, is I am. I never die though. So na tataha vijugupsati. Therefore, why should I fear about anything? Because me only, I cannot be afraid of myself. Only second one I am afraid of. Ditiyadyo bhayam bhavati. Only when I see second one other than me, then I should be afraid of. When there is only me in different forms, then there is no vijugupsa, there is no fear about it. Etad vaitatu, that is that. Is also one of the slokas that is quoted as Angushtamatram. Yathodakam durge vrishtam, todakam durge vrishtam, parvateshu. Huh? Did I miss something? Oh, I don't have it here. Let's see. That is 13. Oh, this is same one. Okay. This is also Angushtamatra. Okay. I skipped that. Angushtamatra Purushaha. Angushtamatra. Jyotir Vibhadhu Makaha. And Jyotiriva Dhumakaha. Let me put my glasses. Ishano Bhutabhavyasya Tano Sava Evadyaha Sa Utsvaha. No wonder I missed this. Okay, together. Etad vaitad. Angushta purushaha jyotirvadu makaha ishano bhuta bhavyasya sa evadya sa ushvaha. Etad vaitad. So here we are talking about same thing. Angushta matraha purushaha. This purusha is that who is also Purnayati, one who is full, complete, is also Purushaha. That means the total. And Angushta is also as though of the size of the thumb. So the person, the size of the thumb is Angushta. Jyotireva, Jyotihi, like a fire, like a flame of light. Jyotireva, so Amadhu, say, Adhumakaha. So fire without a smoke. Dhumakam is the smoke. Adhumaka is without smoke. So the fire without a smoke. So in the Anumana Pramana, we have smoke with fire. But we don't say wherever there is a smoke, there has to be fire. But not the other way around. Wherever there is a fire, there need not be smoke. So a lot of smoke may come, but there is no smoke here. Because where the fire is essentially the life that is pulsating in every worm, that which fires the whole, because even though it is Angushta Matram Purusha, but enlivening the whole body, mind and intellect in everyone, and like a flame without a smoke, and the lot, which is a lot, that is at the individual level. Ishano Bhutabhavyasya is the same as the previous one. That is the Lord, which is of the past and present and future. Says Sa Eva. So He alone is. Adhya is today. Sa Swaha. So that is also will be there tomorrow also. So that alone is there today and tomorrow also. So that is what is essentially continuity is there. Existence is there every time, and the presence of consciousness is I am is there in the present, in the past, in the future, but I am is beyond the present and past and the future. So remember I mentioned that what is present is where past is meeting the future, right? And I make it smaller and smaller and smaller, and ultimately it disappears itself. Past is gone, we never know what is past because there is no past. Past is gone, future hasn't come. Only present is there all the time. But even present is actually not there because present is smaller. Ultimately what is there? My presence is there. Who is the one who is dividing? So I am beyond the time. I am there in the past, yesterday and also now and future also. So I am there continuously moving present where there is no present. Follow? That is the real truth. Etad Advaita. So it's essentially the previous sloka but expanded in terms of Angushtamat. I don't know why I skipped that. Okay, we are going to 14. Maybe I was in a hurry to finish this sloka. So I write it in language that I can read easily. Yatodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati evam dharman prutak pasyan tene vanu vidhavati together. Yadhodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati evam dharman prutak pasyan te dhavati. So here he gives another example. As the water is falling down from different, higher up, down, and when it falls onto the stones, it gets spattered all over the place and get dissipated more and more as it falls. So, even that example, the highest state of reality that is there, as it comes down to here, evam dharma means different jivas expressing differently, and in the process it is expressed as different and varieties, and each jivas is having their own sanchita karma, paradha karma, agami karma. Everyone has their own big life go on and on and on and on. They got lost of the original water that is sprinkled all over, and in the process it is dissipated everywhere. It is in that way also tena vanu vidhavati. So that is teneva. So anuvidhavati. So same water is running through but getting dissipated as though in varieties of names of forms, and here dharman means in jivas, and this is the Sankara's interpretation. So evam dharman prutak pasyan. Prutak is varieties of jivas are being pasyan or seeing. We are seeing varieties of jivas. There are 80,000 types of jivas are there according to our types of jivas. Human being is one type. Like that, there are types of jivas are there, including amoebas and everything. And life is pulsating. Everything is nothing but Brahman only. Because the life is made in that. All the virus may be including also. So that evam dharman pratak pasyan. So just as the water following parvateshu in the stones and get dissipated all over and splashing all over, varieties of that same Brahman is being expressed in varieties of the names. If only pay attention to the varieties. Follow now? When I see only varieties and then nehana nasti panchana, if I understand these varieties are nothing but one, I am unifying back into the one using the same varieties. He has come into many because let me become many. That's what his creation is. And in that many have to see oneness, and that is what is required as Sukshma Buddhi, where I need an integrating mind, not a differentiating mind. You know, there are two types of mind. Analytical mind and the one which is synthetic mind. Analytical mind is a scientist's mind. It's an analysis. He divides. He analyzes and codifies and classifies. This is this phylum. This is this group. That's how a scientist does his division. It's called analytical, sharp mind, because it's very sharp to divide. Whereas what we need is a Sukshma Buddhi, a mind that integrates into one that which is different. That's why a boss is supposed to integrate the whole different sections and look at oneness of the total thing. That's what his vision should be, always to see oneness. Urdhva Mulamadashyakam Asvattam Prahuravye. This tree is Urdhva, the roots are up. The trees, all the branches are down, 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 all are spreading all over the place. But that moolam is one that supports the whole tree also. And how can I cut this samsara? Asanga sastrena. By detachment weapon I had to cut it. By detaching myself with the differences that I see as a reality, I had to unify, have a vision of the unity that pervades all this as the essence that is pervading, and that either in the life form that is pulsating or in the existence form I see is the inert things. That's how I had to integrate, and that is taken in the next sloka. How to integrate. Yathodakam suddhe suddham, yathodakam suddhe suddham, asiktam tadrugeva bhavati, siktam tadrugeva bhavati, evam munehi vijanata, evam munehi vijanata, atma bhavati gautama, atma bhavati gautama. Together, yathodakam suddhe suddham, asiktam tadrugeva bhavati, evam munehi vijanata, atma bhavati gautama. So, hey Gautama. So, Gautama is Swetaketu. Swetaketu is also, it comes under Gautama. So, that is addressed here. So, Atma Bhavati. Yatha Udakam. Udakam is Yatha Udakam. Just as the water, Suddhe Udakam, the pure water is added to pure water. If the pure water is added to pure water remains. Total becomes pure water only, right? Only if I add dirty water, then it becomes dirty. So, that which is pure water is added to pure water, asiktim tadrugeva bhavati. So, that is asiktim poured, tadrugeva bhavati. It becomes a pure only. By adding a pure water to pure water only remains as it is. Evam, in the same way, Munehe. So Munehe is the one, Mananasilavan, the one who is contemplative scientists, contemplative seekers, Munehe. So Vijanata, they know this. Vijanata means they know this. How? By adding the pure water in the same way, by seeing the purity of that consciousness which is never get contaminated, even though expressing in these BMIs, the consciousness doesn't get contaminated, and looking at that and looking at I am that Atma, I am that Atma, I am that Atma, only adding the purities of everything in that, so they don't see impurities at all. From that vision, all the impurities only drama, external drama only. Drama is only for varieties. So the fellow is acting like the villain is a nice fellow actually. Outside, actor is a nice fellow, a very good fellow, but he is acting like a villain because the drama calls for it. He got that portion, the other fellow got the hero portion, so he has to play like a villain only. So, one Munehe, the one who is a Mananasiyavan, the one who is contemplative, he can see oneness as though the pure water is added to pure water. He can see oneness of the pure water everywhere, even though varieties are there. So even though water is all over the place, it's only the purity of the water and looks at the oneness of that water that pervading, and is what is called Munehe. So Atma Bhavati. So he becomes that self by contemplation. So what good is if Muni becomes, so it means we have to become like that by contemplation, by keeping Suddhi water, pure water, as a pure water, mixing only pure water, not touching the bad water. Bad water means ragadveshas. All the vasanas are the one that makes our mind impure. As it is pure, it's coming from the Lord only. That is pure. But vasanas are the ones that makes it. So vasana have to become a bhushana. Vasana is called snake. In all the religions, wherever you see snake, that's vasanas. Even in the Bible also, the Saturn is a snake, right? So that is what is essentially the original sin also. They have the original sin. I know somebody ate apple. It's apple. Maybe somebody ignorance. Essentially, that is vasana, and vasana, neutralized vasana becomes a bhushana. Pannaga Bhushana, we call it. So he waits around, but he doesn't do bus unless Lord Shiva permits. And the other one has made a bed out of it and lying down in the Adisesha, where all the heads are turning inwards towards looking at him, not outward to do bus. Otherwise, only when born as a Lakshmana or something, he keeps very angry all the time. But he is under control of Rama. Without Rama, he doesn't do anything. So that is Atma Bhavati Gautama. Hey Gautama, that how one becomes self. So this is what is the teaching of Iti Kathopanishadi Dvitiyadhyaye Prathama Valli. This is Kathopanishad, second chapter, first section, Prathama Valli. Now, Etad Vaitad. That is what we are talking about. So with that, we have completed the first chapter of the first Valli of the second chapter, and we will take the second Valli of the second chapter in the next class. So we'll do Purnamidam now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.